There are new questions about answers given by the Republican nominee for one of those jobs. Tax attorney Justin Wilson wants to be comptroller. That's the state's budget cop. So why won't he talk about a contract scandal involving your money? Even a leading conservative tells our chief investigative reporter Phil Williams Wilson's excuse for not talking doesn't fly.
Mr. Wilson.
Justin Wilson tried to duck our questions but had nowhere to go.
Yes. Can you tell me why taxpayers should not hear from you exactly what you knew about contracts being rigged during the Sundquist administration?
Well, what contract are you talking about?
In one case, a Sundquist administration appointee was convicted for helping to rig a $2 million contract for a close friend of the governor.
I accept responsibility.
That friend later pleaded guilty to fraud charges but refused to talk about what the governor knew. All of that while Wilson was deputy governor.
I had no participation in it whatsoever, Mr. Wayne.
That wasn't my question.
None whatsoever.
Do taxpayers have a right to know what you were told afterwards?
Anything that may involve any sort of confidential information that may come to me from anyone, and I don't mean Governor Sundquist. If I'm obligated as a lawyer, I'm obligated under my legal obligations. But that's not, but I don't even want to imply that Governor Sundquist ever told me that he even knew anything about it. No.
But you're not saying whether he did or did not.
I can't, as a lawyer, say anything I learned. Period.
So let's go to Dwayne next. Hey, Dwayne, you're on the Steve Gill Show.
Conservative talk radio host Steve Gill, himself a lawyer, calls that a bogus claim.
He was working for the state of Tennessee. He wasn't Don Sundquist's lawyer. He was an employee of the state of Tennessee, and the attorney-client privilege does not apply under those circumstances.
Still, Republican leaders say they don't need to ask what Wilson knows about contract fraud under the Republican administration.
I, again, have the utmost confidence in him, knowing him personally, having worked with him in state government.
Which doesn't answer the question of why not ask him about what he knows.
There are any number of questions that anyone may or may not have been able to ask. I asked him the questions that I felt were pertinent to the process.
Then there are questions about Wilson's lobbying efforts in 2003 to push a plan from rejected treasurer candidate Ira Brody's company. It was a $7 billion investment scheme in which the state would have purchased life insurance on some retirees. Then when they died, the state would have cashed in.
I was given a proposal by a client to present, and I did present it. It was rejected.
Was it in the best interest of taxpayers?
Oh, this was 6 or 7 years ago. I don't remember exactly, but
Now, privately, some Republicans tell me they have reservations about electing Wilson, but they say they're being told that if they vote their conscience about what's best for the state, they'll be kicked out of the Republican Party.
Wasn't Wilson working hard to enact a state income tax?
Yeah, you remember that.
Yeah.
He was, and he's essentially using the lawyer argument there, too, saying he was advocating Governor Sundquist's position, not his own. Steve Gill says if he truly opposed the income tax, he should have resigned instead of pushing for something that he thought was bad for taxpayers.
All right, Phil. And Phil's investigation also revealed that Wilson's resume lists a master's degree from what's being called a bogus diploma mill. The Vanderbilt law grad says he didn't know the school wasn't real.